Aruba amplia su portfolio energético con inauguración del parque solar más grande de la isla, el Sunrise Solar Park. Después de su conclusión en 8.9 luna, el unificado una adición de casi 6 megawatts na nos mezcla energético renovable. Pero también cuando se observa el panorama cambia en Lago Heights, con instalación solar, una entidad de manera Carbon War Room ta admira el apetito de Aruba para explorar la posibilidad para reducir emisión de carbón de los medio ambiente. Carbon War Room es una entidad mundial con el propósito para acelerar el uso de soluciones para reducir emisión de carbón de la atmósfera y pushar el progreso de economía poco dependiente de energía fósil.
There are two challenges in the world of today that we all must tackle together. One, of course, is to continue the fight against poverty and inequity, because we have sufficient economic and technological wherewithal for people to live better lives on our planet. And the other one is a fight against climate change. The numbers are very clear. Last year, we already surpassed 400 parts per million of carbon in the atmosphere. Our lifestyle is producing between 3 to 4 parts per million in addition per year. At that rate, by the year 2050, which is just around the corner, we will have surpassed what over 4,000 scientists claim we should not go over, which is the threshold of 400 or 425 parts per million, to avoid a planet that would have increases of temperature of plus 2 degrees centigrades. So lowering carbon emissions is absolutely critical to humanity. And today we have the wherewithal to do that in a way that creates jobs, economic opportunities, and well-being for people around the world.
Considerando el escenario en vista di Carbon War Room, nacional y gobierno mestre tiene cuenta con una serie de transformación bien definida.
The energy sector is a very important one because about 60-65% of total carbon emissions come from the energy sector. So transforming our energy base from fossil fuel to renewables is absolutely fundamental to lowering carbon emissions. In that respect, the 10-Island Challenge that Aruba launched back in 2012 in the Rio Plus 20 Summit is the way forward for the Caribbean to move from fossil fuels to renewables in terms of generating energy, which would create, by the way, additional investment flows, new business models, create new jobs, and lower the price that people are paying for their electricity.
Para realizar tipo de transformação aqui, a visão e coragem do governo tahunga rol fundamental.
This transformation from fossil fuels to renewables requires vision and leadership. And that is precisely what brought us, the Carbon War Room, to Aruba back in 2012 to become a small partner in this journey led by Aruba for the rest of the world to see. The vision of an Aruba that by the year 2020 would be only relying on renewable energy instead of fossil fuels is the way forward for the entire of humanity. And the leadership to make sure that it is executed on time and within budget is what we saw in Prime Minister Eamon and his government in moving forward. What is even better is that 5 years after that commitment made in 2012, Aruba is right on track to become a nation which is 100% energy renewable based by the year 2020.
Ora 5 anos passar, Aruba, junto com a iniciativa global de Sir Richard Branson, anunciou sociedades para uma transição para uma isla 100% dependente riba energia renovável. Essa aqui sona hope como um plano ambicioso.
Back when the pledge was made in 2012, the world was still trying to find a way forward. We had not reached the global agreement of COP21 to cut carbon emissions, and technology was not as advanced as it is today. So it was a huge leap forward for Aruba to come out and say by 2020 we will be only using renewable energies. But of course, what we have seen in terms of the Aruban government moving forward has been an appetite to explore all opportunities, all possibilities, all technologies, and to bring them together in a comprehensive way that makes economic sense for Aruba to begin with, and that creates a tremendous example for other nations to follow as to how one transforms the energy sector and an economy based on fossil fuels to renewable energies. The most recent program of another 5.9, almost 6 megawatts of solar power here in Aruba is not only the largest project in solar in the Caribbean, it is also the lowest cost project in solar in the region.
Inauguração do parque solar aqui está señalada também passo na firme de Aruba para consistentemente mover em direção do objetivo de estar 100% dependente riba energia renovável na área 2020. Carbon War Room está observar o liderazgo de Aruba em essa aqui. Carbon War Room, adicionalmente, está quer para reduzir emissões de carbono de nosso meio ambiente, mas associar essa aqui com oportunidades comercial.
At the Carbon War Room, we believe that the best way for the world in terms to mitigate climate change is to be able to link economic and environmental issues. And we believe that because unfortunately we're not going to become such good global citizens as to achieve the change in and of itself. But if we can bolster the change with good sound economics, we believe we will be moving a lot faster. So in the energy sector, for example, when we can bring in renewables that compete in price with fossil fuels, we're doing the best of both worlds. We are lowering carbon emissions and we are lowering the cost of energy for countries, while at the same time creating new technological opportunities and creating jobs.
Carbon War Room además reconoce esfuerzo consciente de compañías de utilidad para buscar una mezcla energético renovable ideal na Aruba.
One of the tremendous examples of leadership in Aruba is not only the vision and action of the government, but it is also the active participation of Aruba's utilities, Web and El Mar. They have both understood that the way forward is for these utilities to become energy providers, not only fossil fuel energy providers. And as such, they have gone a long way in studying and bringing to Aruba the best ways in which to be able to integrate different renewable energies into the energy mix for the country to continue to have a guarantee of safe, affordable, and reliable energy.
Non mi olvidar que o uso de solo e viento no portafolio energético de Aruba, por criar reto também de que se trata de fuente de energia interminente e, em certo sentido, pouco predicível. Essa que não por afetar fundamento sólido para a produção de energia.
When you're combining wind with solar, for example, you are confronted with a reality that sometimes the wind comes down, or sometimes you will have a cloud and you will not generate as you were generating enough solar. And so for the grid to be able to take in or out those capacities of generation is a very important element in terms of relying a stable base of energy for the nation. That is where Webb and Elmar have come in, looking at different technologies around the world, innovated in how they are putting them together, and again, therefore creating an example for the region and for other countries to look at.
Pero si no por defender completamente a continuidade de fuente na maneira solo e viento, é talante pergunta se toch mestre tem certa dependência de fuente de energia fóssil para poder garantizar confiabilidade do suministro de energia.
So the thought used to be that because of the variability of some renewables such as solar or wind, you still needed to maintain some fossil fuel generation. Technologies have evolved, and Webb and Elmar are putting together a comprehensive package of backup storage that virtually makes reliance on fossil fuels for backup power no longer necessary. What Webb and Elmar are doing in terms of battery backup, which is the upcoming thing in the world, and where prices are coming down and down as they did several years ago in solar, is absolutely first level. What they are looking at in terms of other technologies, for example, the use of flywheels that can come in at a moment when you have a cloud that brings down your production of solar or you have less wind, is also state of the art. So the future is a future in which between different renewables and different technologies, we will be able to have 100% based energy on renewables.
Tantenco e cambio e transformazione energetico mestre tem sentido econômico para Aruba. E decisione de ambito di energia alternativo mesterta indudablemente associato a azione concreto.
The carbon war room operates the world over. We have seen, in the case of some countries and some governments, an ambition to move in the direction of renewables. Unfortunately, that ambition is not always accompanied by the action and the leadership required to make it happen, which is another differentiating element with Aruba. Because here you have the combination of courage to say we are going to become an example for the world to follow in terms of renewable energies, together with leadership, which is to point the direction and say Aruba will be 100% dependent on renewable energy by the year 2020, combined with action on the ground, which are the measures that the government and the utilities are taking at the forefront of this program to make sure that the vision is being properly executed.
Mestre que d'accordo é rol importante que Aruba por hunga, ora uovo di mundo t'arriba nos, e que por demonstrar que a transformazione energetico alternativo ta transformazione valido.
Aruba can play a very important and significant leadership role for the rest of the world in many respects. First of all, Aruba is a country that does not have access to every type of renewable energy, such as hydro or geothermal. So the sophistication of integrating mainly solar and wind and backup storage is fundamental because it is much more difficult to achieve, and therefore it allows other nations that may have an easier path to see that this is absolutely possible, even in the most difficult of circumstances, such as Aruba is doing. Secondly, it proves to the world that this is a viable economic transformation, that you actually lower costs, and that you also create new jobs and new technologies and new opportunities for investment and R&D. Thirdly, this is a terrific example in terms of proactive government regulation and legislation, sending markets the correct signals with respect to in which direction we want to develop our economies as clean, green, thriving economies that because of that become much more competitive in the global play.